All right, welcome to Pre-Market Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin with you. Joel, a lot of green on my screen, really, with the exception of the healthcare and real estate sectors. Pretty much everything is in the green today. How do things look to you?
Well, first of all, you got to like today's rally. Certainly a little bit more broad-based than tech.
Yeah.
You have some of the banks. You have Berkshire Hathaway trading up nearly $5. J.P. Morgan up $2.50. I also noticed Bank of America was having a good day. So definitely, a little bit of diversification in the market. That's what we like to see.
It is.
Early on, we made that pre-market high 24 even. That's 34.24. We challenged that early in the session, couldn't quite get there, and then market can't go straight up, right? So you had a little bit of a decline around 11 o'clock. Couldn't even get mid-range on the session. Rallied back. The Bears made one more attempt in that last bracket between 3 and 315. No can do. Bulls didn't even let get down to that intraday low at 0950. We're charging forward here. That, as I mentioned, that high is 34.24. As far as like another target here on the upside, just staying commensurate with your 9-day trading range. 32 and a quarter is not out of the question here with about 19 minutes to go in the session. Crude on the 42 handle of the day, 42.89 to 42.23. Once again, that $43 level staking out again. I guess those storms and potential storms not doing much follow through for the crude oil market. Gold can't really seem to hold the bid here. We were as high as 1970.30, now down $13. We talked about those lows just underneath here at the 15.20, 15 and a quarter area. Very important for gold to be holding that overnight. Silver kind of moving the same way in the red. It did get up to 27.34, now in the red by 20 cents at 26.53. And boy, 300-point rate, less than a 300-point range in Bitcoin, up $60 at 11,755.
Yeah, and if you look at the quote unquote reopening stocks, the Boeings and the airlines and the cruise liners, you would probably look at those charts and you want to say that the August 11th level is the next
Stopping
time.
point?
It's the next stopping
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I mean they're up. I mean you did get the good news overnight about the expediting some of the vaccines related to plasma. And we could talk about those companies in a second, but overall reopening trade here. I mean, it is up $10 here. Maybe we're going to get back up and taste, the top of that trading range, 180. But when you're looking at Boeing here in the monthly and you're looking where we've come from that March low, sure, we're up nice on a percentage basis, but not the kind of strength that you'd want to see, relative. Also, you could just look at this monthly chart here. After it made that high at 450, actually before that and after that, you had almost a year of consolidation on either side before you broke out, before you broke down. That's what I'm looking for in Boeing here. Could just be like a 160 to 210, 220 trading range for quite a long time until things get resolved. People start, flying more and the need for more airplanes. But that's a look at Boeing. And then American Airlines, that's having a pretty good day here, right? That's up a
Yeah.
buck 18. Found some support. I'm not sure about the cruise lines, how the cruise lines doing today. Nice day for Carnival Cruises. And then the stay-at-home trades. How's Zoom doing? Zoom down
Yeah, I
$8,
mean,
right?
they're gonna go inverse to the airlines, right? So
Yep.
Boeing Airlines go up, Zoom, Slack, all those go down.
Teledoc.
We should probably talk about Apple and Tesla at the open today. We all saw it. Tesla a little bit more of a dramatic move than Apple. Trades with a higher beta, so that's to be expected there. But I guess they can't go up all of the time. I guess that's the lesson.
What a tremendous run. I
One
mean,
in a row.
and
What?
anybody that's complaining about a little pullback here today,
No way.
and Tesla, they need to go back. They need to go back into their cave here. You just have to have some kind of pullbacks here. You had that pullback, I think, when we were at the close on Friday. I remember we got down to 1940 just briefly here. Let me bring up the after hours chart. So, I mean, this is nothing. You got to figure, we did get to 2,000, where we get to 21.29 today. I mean, it's you'd rather see this kind of price action in the stock, shake out some of the week longs here, and get set for another move higher. But Dennis did. I talked to him mid morning here, and it's funny how he has his sentiment, and then he watches the order flow off the open, and he felt the beats in the tech coming. I don't know if he was able to get his shorts on or how he anticipated that trade. But just taking a little breather. Look at Apple, traded down to 495.74, now back at 504. I'm just wondering where that is in relations to the close, because I like to try and give you guys levels. What was your close in Apple on Friday? I know was it 498? Let's see. Let's go to good old data window and see what that gives us. Apple's close on Friday, 497.48. So you got through that a little bit. You went to 95.75. But if you would have blinked, it would have been a winner here. S&P's one tick off that 1 point off that high of the session at 34.24. Don't have any really levels there today. So let's see if we can make another push here, perhaps get to 34.30.
Josh Martin in the chat's asking about SWBI. I feel like we should have mentioned this but didn't, and I meant to, but I neglected to mention this last week. Is the SWBI American Outdoor Brands spinoff that happened I guess today. So there are now two companies. One is Smith & Wesson brand, that's the gun company, and then American Outdoor Brands, which is like the rest of the company, is a different company now. So SWBI is a pure play on guns. American Outdoor, the ticker is AO. What is it? AOU TV is what I think it is.
That's a lot of symbols.
AOU TV, yeah,
Yeah.
AOU
Yeah.
TV. So that's like the rest of that everything else that was not the guns. So that split happened, and now you've got two different companies, SWBI, AOU TV.
SWBI, the company most likely to change its name or symbol.
Well, you would think now that they've spun off into their own company, they're probably done doing that for now. I hope so.
It's just they walked it down here since it got near $28 on August 10th, and kind of let's see. It's all important $20 level. You can see a bunch of lows here. I'll illustrate for you those at home. Look at that. We stopped at 20 here. Boom. Let's move the line up just a little bit. Come on, line. Do what you should be. You can see that you had a low at 1982. You also had a low just above that, another low here back at the end of June, kind of working its way toward that area. So if you're holding out for a long today, maybe a little better risk reward ratio coming if it gets closer to $20. And that's what I'm looking at in that one. It's been down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. And let's look at RGR, see if those stocks match each other here. Same thing, 85 to 70. That's coming up on supported 70 as well.
All right. To the chat we go. Mike L asking us if it's time to take Genius Brands out back behind the woodshed. I saw there was news last week about a shareholder lawsuit. Frankly, those things are a dime a dozen.
I always see those.
They tend not to move the needle much. That being said, the stock has gone from from $1 to what was the high?
Just under 12.
Well, 11. It's back to $1. It's come full circle. We've seen this happen. I don't know how many times. That's not to say it doesn't have another move in it. I mean, we saw Nikola kind of defy logic there for a minute, but more often than not, charts.
I think didn't Mr. Laugh pan this one?
Yeah, he's on the American.
Yeah.
So, I mean, more often than not, charts that look like this they stay looking like this.
They do, and I don't know. I mean, we had that gentleman on, and I don't know what was forthcoming out of there. $1.12 here. I don't really know if there's, you're gonna need some news to get this, but it's just been kind of a slow fade here. Not much to say about it. You buy it at $1.12. The most you can lose is a $1.12.
Oh man, I've not looked at plug power for a minute here, and it is off the highs. That's a healthy pullback. That's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that had a march from 10 to 14, right? Just over 14.
See, now this is interesting because now do you buy the dip?
1235. I mean, it's still in an uptrend, right? And this
It
is
is. Yeah.
yep. We just blasted through the high there, folks. We just take 25 and a half. Not sure if we got any buy imbalances coming off the board or
Yeah, I saw
what.
some a few minutes ago.
Okay, so continuation of the trend here. Plug, let's see what happens. You did get down to that support area. You had a couple lows at 12. You got to 1181 today. So maybe just hanging out here for a couple days, a few days of consolidation, and then a resumption of the uptrend.
Hey, did I tell you my thing from over the weekend about Tesla?
No. Oh yeah, I did see your tweet, but tell our listening audience.
So, oh man, so this is just, I mean, I don't know if there's really much of a lesson here. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I guess the lesson is don't forget, if you write notes down about stocks, don't forget that you did that, because I guess in September of 2016, I had gone into the notebook on the Fidelity website, and I had written a note to myself to reconsider buying Tesla after a conference. I don't know what conference I was referring to, but some conference in 2016. And I totally forgot about that. And I was on my account over the weekend doing some stuff, and I stumbled upon this note that I left myself 4 years ago. And I just forgot, and then I had it. So Spencer Israel in 2016 wanted to maybe buy Tesla, but I clearly I forgot to do that.
And saw Raz say reconsidering your short position, right?
I just don't. The lesson here is, if you are thinking about something, and don't forget that you thought about it. Which is what happened to me.
Yeah, and also with those kind of things too is you can always take a starter position,
Yeah,
right?
that's
If
true.
you feel that and I know Triple D hasn't talked about some of his half positions, and they haven't always worked out, but at least in that kind of scenario, you dip your toe in the water, right? And you're not fully invested. So if it goes down, you have the option to do something, and if it goes up, then you don't feel so bad. I remember just the only time I remember really watching Tesla, closely is been, you probably can't even see it on here, but back on its IPO day, it just hung out, and let's see if we can even see it here. $40 was just like the major top, and I don't know. I think I canceled my order there at 40 when it blew through there, and just never came back. When was that? Oh yeah, 40 kept the roof on it
Quite some time.
until
Yeah.
April of 2013, and then
Yeah.
that's when it took off. But be interesting to see how this stock acts after the split.
So, Rohan, to answer your question, will I buy Tesla now? No, that's not a commentary on the stock, though. That's a commentary on my own personality. I don't have the emotional control to own stock like Tesla that is this much of a high flyer. If I owned it, it would consume every waking thought of mine, and I just can't do that to myself. So I own Tesla via an ETF. I own ARKW. That's an ETF in which Tesla is the largest holding. But I'm not going to own Tesla outright, only because I know I couldn't handle it emotionally. That's why.
Right.
So
All right.
you gotta know yourself here as much as
That's a good thing.
yeah.
Investment psychology. Do we want to talk about the bloodbath and the plasma stocks?
Oh, I mean, we talked about this morning, and I think we were right. I mean, not the most difficult call you've ever made, Joel. They were leaking throughout the morning,
Yep.
and if you here, I'll pull up some of the symbols here, and we can go through them a little bit.
Sure.
But you talk about stocks like ADMA, And what else did we discuss? ADMA was the big one. LMNL was a big one.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof, boy, this one they $28. Over a 2-for-1 stock split since that pre-market high at 7 a.m. So mega pain. It doesn't look like the street is putting a lot of long-term confidence here in the plasma. But as far as the vaccine, that doesn't mean that it won't happen or won't turn out good again. What were some of the other ones we looked at?
Yeah, sure.
KMDA.
KMDA, right? That was one.
Yep,
And
that's holding on to its gain. Yep.
you looked at we look at DFFN. Was that one from this morning? That was on the list. SONN was one.
Boom, boom, boom. Yep, that one got to 750. Now back at $4. Still holding some gain. So yeah, boy, the levels that you see today and those highs, I mean, those are going to be big targets moving forward. Just a lot of people got stuck in that fracas. And I looked at that, and a lot of those moves were in the first 2 minutes of the ADMA Open was in the first 2 minutes of trading. So if
You
you
mean at
do get
4?
in those things,
You mean at 4 a.m.?
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So you'd have to wake up, scrub your teeth, and be ready for some action here because that spike you see to $6 happened within the first 2 minutes of the session. So if you're going to be doing those things, get in early and try and get out early because you can see this thing. This one has had a 2-for-1 stock split since 4 a.m. this morning.
Yeah. All right. So if there's a lesson here, it's what we said on the show this morning, which is it's really worthwhile to pay attention to the pre-market charts for this reason because it's an entirely separate world out there. And B, if you're trading news and trying to get in at the open, you're too late. Is essentially
Yeah, I mean, you could have bought and sold, but the big boys were lurking on this one. The news, I
Yeah.
talked to Dennis about it over the weekend. It kind of leaked over the weekend, and then Trump came out, said it, I believe, at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. But another familiar statement. If you're good trading these kind of things, then go ahead and do it.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, if this is in your wheelhouse, then by all means, just know what you're good at, know what you're not good at.
Yep, and just take a look at that, that pre-market chart. Take a look at that early price action, and if you would have in something like ADMA, I mean, it actually, I don't know what the borrow is on this thing, but as much as there was a decline from that $6 high, at least if you're all right, let's say you don't do anything, in the after hours, you don't or the pre-market, and you say, you know what, this thing's gonna go right. You buy the open at 369. You found out pretty quickly that you were wrong because it went 2 cents in your favor and then boom, traded down to 282. So, staying away from the 4 a.m. open, getting aggressive on the 9:30 open, but just be aware that opening print, a lot of algorithms, a lot of traders are keen on that. And boom, that was a big open and the big fade, big red bar. Let's see if it comes down and fills the gap. We're about a buck off the high of the session here. We only have 2 minutes remaining, a new all-time high by a wide margin here in the S&P futures. So that's indicative of higher prices here, perhaps for the remainder of the week. Anything you want to close out with,
As
Spence?
far as earnings for the day, it is a very light day. Palo Alto Networks is probably the only earnings report on my radar for today. Tomorrow morning, we're going to get Best Buy, Medtronics, Hormel. Those are probably and Children's Place. Those are, I think, the big three for tomorrow morning.
I just want to take a look at this Best Buy
I
because
knew you would.
Chubbs told me about this thing,
What
and he
about it?
said you got he was like, look at this, run and going into earnings, and this was, I think I did this as the stock of the day last week, and I should have listened to what I wrote in the article. I said, well, it'll probably run up in their earnings, and boy, oh boy, it did. It tacked on more today, up another $3.36. So is it today? Or, no, it's not today, is it? The
No,
Best Buy
tomorrow morning.
tomorrow?
And then
Yeah.
also we should talk about Into real fast as we close. But INTU, all-time high here, I believe. They report tomorrow afternoon, and they caught some love this morning from KeyBank. They
Ooh.
raised their price target to 350 ahead of the report.
Well, you made the all-time high up 1088, anticipating a good report. Boy, oh boy, I don't know. I mean,
Uh,
today maybe trading it, but be careful. Analysts making a call. You got to appreciate that.
yeah, you got it.
Couldn't quite get there, folks. 34.30. We got to 34.29.50 on that little blast here of buyers getting ready for tomorrow's session.
Right.
So that's it. It looks like we're going to close new all-time high here. It's going to look by like 25 handles. That's a wide margin.
All right, that's a wrap. Nick Shaheen will join us tomorrow morning. Please remember that all the information from our broadcasts are meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. Everyone have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.